Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. This is going to be interesting. So, I literally just discovered this artist's work on Twitter this morning. Someone that I follow, Ariel Washington, um, retweeted a tweet with this art, and it was very cool. So, you can check my Twitter. I'll have links to my social media and also to Blaster Kid coming to Indiegogo in January. We're going to launch it, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, so this is called Sun Can Rock, and it is very, very great art. The first, there's a couple of series, and I'm not 100% sure that the same artist did them all. I think his name is Boichi, Boichi, if I'm not mistaken. I think we'll see his name as we go through. But yeah, I was really impressed. I've been looking for something different to just consume myself, and let me do some quick updates and we'll get into this. But I'm excited. Just opening these files, I was really impressed by the art. It's excellent. Yes. Anyway, I figured. I still have not talked to Kelsey. My hope would be that he'll be around for Wednesday's show, but I don't know. I assume he's working and very busy. But yeah, I have not heard from him in about 10 days. So we will see on that. But either way, I will be going live on Wednesday solo or as a duet. And yeah, this week was interesting. It was very challenging. Not Christmas, but work. Hard pages, just tough material to draw. And it was kicking my ass. It was hard. But I know great things come from these challenges, but boy, I'll tell you what, if you ever want to respect pencilers, give it a go, man. Grab a script and try to draw some pages, and it will school your ass. No matter how good you are at drawing some stuff, I'll tell you what, having to do a 7, 8 panel page of something that you don't normally draw, it'll test you. So anyway, let's get into this. Speaking of being tested, this is some complex stuff that this person draws. There's a little bit of adult material. There might be a little bit of spoilers if you've never read it. But really what we're going to do is we're just going to enjoy the art, and it's fantastic. So all right, let's go. What's it going to be? It's going to be super fun. All right, let's go into full screen mode. Boom. So a lot of these books will have a few color pages. These are gorgeous too, by the way. Man, the detail is so kick-ass. These are pixely scans, so it's a little bit difficult to tell really what. I mean, obviously it's digital colors, but I would assume most people now are doing some sort of hybrid style. This could be traditional underneath it all. We'll see. And hopefully the scans overall are pretty decent, but there's helicopters circling outside. I knew that this would be a risk. I'm just gonna shut this. I don't know why on Super Fun Sunday it never fails that a helicopter will just circle for like an hour outside of my house. It's probably fans of Super Fun Sunday. This is an interesting little texture that they've been dropping in on stuff. You can see it's rotated here because it actually runs vertical and horizontal on his belt, but on the background it's actually rotated a bit. I like stuff like that. I'm critical of people that use digital effects lazily, but when it's done well, it's cool. So this is probably from a photo. It's nice though. It looks hand drawn. I'm just saying the shot. Maybe a little bit of this is some photo statting, but this is really cool establishing shot. Like, I would definitely be down with this. I'm telling you, you guys are going to be very impressed by the overall look of this book. I think it really is beautiful. It's going to knock your socks off. It did me. I'm literally barefoot right now. I love this dude's hairdo. Hair don't. Yeah, but the shaving in it is actually very cool. Oh man. There's some pieces that are coming up that are so beautiful. What it's interesting. So getting into penciling and having to draw pages, there's like deadlines, and there's how much detail are you going to use throughout your story? Where are you going to use the detail? What should be rendered, what should not be rendered. This is the kind of digital stuff that I'm not a huge fan of, is this up here. I think used sparingly, it's okay. Used just to blast areas, I think it can look a little weak. This actually looks like it's shot from pencil, but it may not be. It could just be very diluted ink. But this is pretty cool, and it could be digital. And there's tools that will make things look a bit like this. Although this does kind of look traditional. But you know, pixelated scan, it's very difficult to say. But that is a real nice drawing, and I like the choice of making his suit black. It really gives the piece a very graphic feel. The dark eyebrows, you know, there's not a lot of like feathering in the eyebrows. It works. It definitely makes this pop, and just there's a clarity to it. The stark black, the very bright white, and then just nice detail on the character. It's really nicely done. Look at this. Whew, so awesome. You know, when we look at manga, a lot of times we'll sort of debate whether or not assistants have been used for the work. I don't know about this artist, so I can't guess or speculate. But regardless of what the process is, this is some pretty incredible stuff. When you look at a full issue of this work, you really feel satisfied. I could tell just by flipping through one of them that if I saw it on the stands, I would 100% buy it. I always would say that there's kind of there's an amount of pages. Like if you flip through a 20-page book, to me there's a buying point where if I'm flipping through and I see enough cool pages, I'll pick it up, sort of sight unseen. Not literally sight unseen, because obviously you're sort of previewing it, but what I mean is there's enough interesting pages that you go, yeah, you know what, I want to see more of these books 1000% hit that mark. I love he'll go into this really beautiful cartoony stuff too. It's very solid. These are nice drawings, very nicely drawn hand. This is real solid, simple folds but effective. Like he doesn't seem to overdraw. You know, the economy of choices is good. There's some extra lines in here, but it's not bad. This is all really good. It really does kind of feel like it's shot from pencil at times. It's trippy. I mean, this is obviously inks, but he could be, if he's working in a program like Clip Studio. This is beautiful. God, it's so good. Then you know, you could just be switching back and forth between all kinds of stuff. You could be using a pencil tool, you could be using a mapping pen or G pen. Obviously, you can use textures and materials and drop them in. I mean, this is obviously done. I mean, you could do it traditionally. It doesn't look like it is. The gun's got some beautiful zipatone on it. This is great. God, I love how he shifted gears from that other page and went from very cartoony stuff to this beautiful kind of cartoony realism. This is a really fantastic effect. See, this is where I say, like, this is artistry to me. This looks like a beautiful use of digital tools to achieve a very nice looking page. It doesn't look lazy. It doesn't look overly gimmicky. It just looks great, you know? That's what you want to see. This is all very cool. But I like this. This is some of my favorite stuff that I've seen in the last couple of months, for sure. It went right up the food chain. Oh man, I didn't see that. Snapping turtles. They're very powerful jaws. This guy is actually really cool. You'll see him on other pages, and the way that he draws him is very cool. And this texture that he uses on his vest is really neat. But this is a great book, man. There's a ton of issues too. It looked like there was about over 100 of them, and then some other series that possibly the same artist did. So I definitely want to seek out more. These were from 2019 that we're looking at right now, and these were the most recent ones. They look to have been published around around August of 2019. Is that's what they were dated as. Doesn't necessarily mean when that came out though. That's really good. Damn. This guy's very awesome too. This is obviously a photo, and this is too. It does the trick. Would it have been better for this artist to have spent 10 hours drawing all of this from a photo? It's hard to say. It's a personal preference between the viewer. This is really cool. Really, really nice shot. It was interesting. There was a small part of me that wondered. We'll see if I see it pop up later. Yeah, these are really difficult shots to do. This is so solid. It's very, very nice. This is great too. God damn, look at that. Oh my gosh. That is drawn so well. Man, that's a tough shot. It's like hand over face, facial expression of like sort of sadness and terror. Crazy upshot, and it just crushes it. It's so good. This is nice too. Oh, he's like aged or something. Man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's really interesting, this shady pencil thing. It's very, very cool. This is nice. This actually, well, you could use in Photoshop. You could use like the liquify tool and sort of bend this stuff to the forms. It's definitely an overlay. I find Clip Studio, I wish that their transform tools were a little more advanced. There's some cool things that they can do, but I prefer the Photoshop transforms, like perspective and distort and what's the one called? I can't think of all the names. Warp. Bam or blam. This is nice too. Man, it's really cool. Fun stuff. Man, that is epic. Level 168. Dude, this is such a great splash page for having no characters on it. It's really cool. Man, those clouds are great. I mean, it's clearly a photo, but it still looks pretty cool. The screen tones are creating an interesting little pattern going on too. This is nice. Man. Blam. Two panel page. This guy is so lucky. This is good. That's really nice. Gosh. Oh, that's like a photo of water. It looks pretty cool. You figure with a black and white comic, what's interesting is I asked someone, it might have been Kelsey, do you think that digital tools are affecting manga in a positive way or a negative way? And I think in general, when I see work like this, I kind of think that, like, to me, this is artistically done. Damn. So it still feels traditional. There's a quality. Oh man, his eyes coming out of his head is great. This is really, really good too. This is a nice figure. Very cool lighting on her bustier thing. But yeah, I think when I see work like this, I have no problem with digital drawn books. I mean, I think that this is a very, very nice hybrid. That would tell a great story. I mean, I don't think you would feel gypped as the reader seeing stuff like this. Man, she's beautiful. This is all really nice. Yeah, that's cool. And then he slips back into that cartoony look again. It's really, really nice how he goes back and forth. That's awesome. So hopefully everyone had a nice holiday season. I guess we've got New Year's coming up, fast approaching. I'm basically working through all the holidays. I took Christmas off kind of always practicing though now. Like if I even if I'm not drawing, I feel guilty if I'm not like adding to what I'm working on. Because you just realize, like I said, when you get thrown into the mix and you have to draw pages from a script, it really you immediately hit the emergency bell and go like, all right, I need to be better at everything. Especially if you're a picky bastard like me. This is nice. Yeah, this is all really good. Ba, 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 ba. 4 years ago, my Wallman friends and I. Man, that's nuts. That's really cool. This is cool too. These look like Google SketchUp models, or something along those lines. This is funny. It's like totally like it's like a photo bash. It still looks kind of cool though. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's impressive when you turn the page. It's got a nice texture and stuff to it, but yeah, I mean, this is just like a photo of like a fruit plant, like in a yard. All this. I wouldn't personally do this with my work, but I don't mind it as a fan. For something like this, I think it works. This all looks cool. I like his shoes. Those are awesome. This is a great little panel right here, too. Again, tough stuff to draw. Like, this is a nice gesture with this guy kind of leaning forward. Really nice folds on his jacket. This is good. This looks a little more like how I've been drawing people in like, these poses. It's, like, a little stiffer. Things aren't completely, like, looking... like this is hard stuff to draw. I mean, not hard, but, probably not the stuff that you're going to grind on if you're trying to get good at drawing, just in general. Odds are you're probably doing like superhero stuff or sci-fi. And photos, I don't know, it would have been interesting if he just drew all this stuff. I mean, like drew it from the photos. Yeah, it's a different vibe. Whoa. This is really cool. This is a tough shot to draw. Very nice foreshortening on this. Her butt is clearly closer to us than her shoulder blades. And this guy, he's in a bit of a quandary here. Oh, it's nice. Damn, it's so good. That is really kick-ass. Gun looks great. So, had you seen this before or not? Let me know in the comments section. I'd be curious how many people are already fans of this work. There's got to be a bunch out there because this is some pretty high-level shit. This was the page that I saw. Man, these heads, like this guy's head at all these different angles is really solid. It's got a side view, kind of like a down quarter shot. This is pretty good up shot, and then this really kind of tight down shot. But he did a good job on it. Well, it all looks real nice, and you can definitely tell it's the same character. It's got pretty distinct things. That's really good too. Damn. This is inspiring stuff, man. It's getting my mojo working. This is all really good. This is nice too. I like that effect. I actually did a Metal Gear Solid video about a week ago that I never uploaded. I need to watch it back. But it was like 30-40 minutes of the Art of Metal Gear Solid books. So it's not just one artist. It's compilation of things. But yeah, it was fun seeing that work. But they would blend stuff like that with like a little bit of like washi or Copic, Prismacolor. And then this is great too. Man, these characters are so good. And he kept it feeling like an upshot. I mean, it's interesting because we're definitely low on these characters. I mean, we're basically at about this height, and if you just look at this character, you could almost think it's a front view a little bit, but you can see that he's going to the vanishing point, and this guy really is affected by it. It's because his head is turned down too that we don't get the upshot on his face. This is interesting. This is really good. It's just my mouse has got like a little bit of a short, so it makes that noise. Oh, I'll use my stylus so it doesn't keep making that noise. This is nice. Damn, that's so good. I'm really glad that I checked this stuff out because this is giving me some vitamins that my brain needed. Not those bad vitamins that just distract you. Like I said, I mentioned this in, I think it was a Patreon video I did recently, which was I really kind of go on instinct. Like, however I'm drawing, that's what sort of guides the ship, and I just don't want to even check out other stuff because it just becomes like conflicting ideas. So it's like when I get on point with something and I have an idea, I only really want to check out stuff that sort of fits into what I'm going towards. So, although I don't want to draw exactly like this, there's similarities to what I'm attempting. And also, you know, I mean, as a penciler and inker, you're dealing with black and white art. You know, of course, you know, for American comics, they're generally colored, but yeah, it's like this is where we're done. You know, and I'm not using screen tones, so it takes even another level of detail that you can add. So it's quite the kind of problem sum. This is great too. Damn, he's so good. Yeah, it's really, really nice. Very lovely hands. Do. Gotta keep an eye on the clock. Let me see what time it is, friends. Okay, I can go for like another 5 minutes or so. I gotta get to work. Get to work here. This is nice. Man, that is clean. Clean and tight. But still with an energy, you know? Love these upshots. They're really, really good. And he does great eyes. Gets a little cross-eyed in that. Not too bad. This would concern me if I drew this with the one eye blacked out. I would be like, oh man, should I don't normally work in Photoshop, but you know what I mean, like almost feel like it might need a little, you know, where it's like kind of looking in on us. Not exactly like that, but you know what I mean. Like I would be tempted to have the other eye more visible. It's funny that Travis and I did a shot like this of Grifter in Wildcats number 6. It's a real tight shot of Grifter with quite heavy shadow on his face. Oh man, I feel like we saw this shot before. It's very similar to the other one, but it's definitely different. Man, that's so cool. She's super creepy looking, but like cute too. Great clothes, wrinkles. It's like he really played up the kind of crinkly fabric of it. This is great too. Damn. Oh, I want to get better now. Right meow. This is awesome. Oh man, it's so cool. This dude is a busy bee. Not a ton of panels on these pages in general. I would say that it's a lot of stuff like this really gives them an opportunity to flex things. Wow, that's crazy. Really cool shot. So I've made the commitment to take my social media more seriously and focus on art and not shenanigans. So it's not easy to do. I always want to poke fun at things. Sarcasm. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fight the urge. Just stick to art. I would love to show the heavy metal work that I'm doing right now, but unfortunately, it's not getting launched until January 11th, I believe. They're going to do a 5-page preview on the cover. So you'll be able to see it then. Don't get your hopes up too high. This is my first full-on book that I've ever done. So there'll be some growing pains. Blaster Kid is more in my hot zone. It's stuff that I'm more used to drawing. This other book is far more challenging, but it's good. Like I said, I've mentioned many times that being pulled out of my comfort zone and being forced to draw things that I wouldn't maybe naturally gravitate to, it's frustrating for me, and it makes me feel like I suck at times. But at the end of it, what it'll do is it'll make me better at that, you know. And then when I go to Blaster Kid, which is something that you know, I would maybe more naturally draw, you know, scary stuff and things blowing up and action or whatever. It's a yeah, you get I'll have the benefit of the discipline that it took to do the other book, which has there's a ton of action and stuff like that in it, but yeah, there's also things like this that I have to draw. See, what I need to do is I need to move the camera down below the dress. Would be funny. I don't know how some, like, DC definitely wouldn't let you get away with this. I don't know where heavy metal is at with this. I think they would probably be like, oh, for this particular one, we might want you to like avoid that. That's really cool. You are evil. Evil-ish. Ish. This is nice. He's cool looking. I like that guy. This is funny too. Yeah, this is a real neat combination of things that go on in this book. I like it. I digs it. This is really good. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh man, that's cool. Man, this is some groovy stuff. When I see someone in a black suit like that, it always makes me think of Transmetropolitan, the one character. It's Keanu Reeves, man. Well, that'll solve the problem of drawing the background, right? This looks like a 3D model. This is a photo. So this to me looks like it's maybe like a Google SketchUp city they dropped in the background. It's interesting. I don't know what the copyright laws are on that. I mean, obviously Japan would be different than the US, but I don't know if you can just, like, if you worked for Marvel and you were using someone else's photos and stuff like that, if they saw it, they could probably nail you for it. But this is really good. Well, I like it. I like it. This is a nice, sparsely decorated thing. This is interesting. This is similar to that other thing. It makes me wonder when I see these skies. Will I someday do skies in black and white? Normally in American comics, you would kind of leave that to your colorist. To some extent. I mean, you could definitely draw in clouds, but this is really interesting. Let's see something. Yeah, it's nice. Those guys who disappeared 5 years ago. Alright, so we're going to go through these next pages quick, but we'll go through another small batch. This is really good. Oh, sorry. I want to see the detail here. Looks like a little bit of zipatone there. Yeah, I think it is. Or screen tone, I should say. I'm still torn on if I think the base art, meaning the actual characters, were drawn traditionally or digitally. Like, you know what I mean? Something like this. This was on paper. This panel I'm talking about, not this. It kind of looks like it is. Maybe the finishes are done digitally. I'm definitely gonna have to look this guy up and see if he's on this guy. See if he's like there's anything on YouTube, any interviews or short little documentary things. It's funny. It's just like there's actually no drawing on this page at all. Is it Nakatomi Plaza? What happened? Pretty nice explosion though, actually. And these look drawn to some extent. They could be 3D models, but he's got the vein in his hand like Buckethead. Only guitar players will laugh at that joke. When Buckethead plays really, really fast, he has this vein in his hand that pops. And that's how you can tell it's Buckethead. The vein of doom. This is cool. As a clever way of handling the restaurant is everything is like a flat perspective. There's no, you don't see any edges of the table, so you never have to deal with corners. This is very cool. It's clearly from like a photo, but I like it. And the sense of space is great. Oh my gosh. You know, this like right here looks drawn. I don't know, is it? It looks kind of drawn. I mean, it's the this doesn't, like all the cans. Some of this does, and some of this does. I think if you can see my alma white. This area in here looks drawn. This area in here looks drawn. This stuff doesn't. This doesn't for sure. Some of this starts to look more like photo in it, but it's kind of cool. Got real cartoony here. Alright, well this was a very fun and kind of unexpected series of images to look at. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. This is tough. So I'll explain this and then we'll go. We'll look at like 2 more pages after this. But when you do a front view like this, which is I find myself when I'm laying out some of my pages, it could be because I'm a Mignola fan a little bit too. Front views are actually some of the hardest shots to pull off and make things look 3D. The reason being is, in a weird way, everything is kind of on like this plane. But if you notice what he did with the necklace here is it is coming down a little bit. So your ellipse is like this. But even still, it doesn't give you a lot of room to do things. And like I'm doing an office scene right now, and a couple of the shots I chose front views. I'm kind of regretting it because it's difficult to draw clothes and have, you know, like you're doing pants and you want to have things. It just feels flat, you know what I mean? Like it's like it would have been better to have it even just turned so that you could at least have some, you know, some sort of perspective going on. Like if you made it like that where it's a like a 1 point perspective or something. But yeah, like when you do front shots like this with especially a full character standing there, they're difficult to make look cool and to give them impact. So it's like when I lay out my next pages, I'm gonna really try to avoid it. But it's just when you're dealing with things like an office or a studio or something like that, you've got a lot of stuff to draw. It's not so much the characters. Like I do shots like this. I have shots like this in the book, but you know, when you have to deal with like a living room, sometimes you're like, oh shit, I've got so much to draw, and you kind of pick a more direct shot. But the problem is then the characters can look a little sort of boring. So I tell people too, you know, you can always rotate the panel, meaning that like even if you're doing the shot like this, you can still do a straight up and down shot and have it turned at an angle, so the reader feels a little bit of sort of something going on in the room, you know what I mean? So it's a little more interesting to the eye than if you do a room and like everything is sort of like that. I'm telling you, I find it more difficult to draw. but it's just, inexperience. This is an interesting thing I'll point out too. Is I was looking at someone. I think it was Adam Hughes. It was a video I did for Patreon. I did like an hour-long video of Adam Hughes after I did the Adam Hughes Super Fun Sunday last week, and I was pointing out that early in Adam's career, he was making it harder on himself, overdrawing on his pages, and as he got better, he actually started drawing less, but he was doing more interesting shots. So it was an interesting thing is younger artists, we tend to pick things that we think are more simple because they kind of are in terms of having to figure things out, meaning that you're drawing things a little more vertical and horizontal, but it creates its own set of challenges. And when you start doing shots where things are at these kind of angles, where you've got characters above the camera and they're kind of peeking into the frame more, that kind of stuff is actually easier to draw, and you'll draw less than you got everybody standing straight forward because that's what you practiced forever. These are just they can be tricky, and then ultimately they don't look that cool. It's the irony of it, is it's like it looks a little generic. But there's nothing wrong. I mean, you can see these lines are going straight up and down in the background, but he's got a vanishing point here. Eye level is like right about here. Sorry. Right about there. Same thing here, is like this is pretty much a straight on shot, but if you look, this is going to a vanishing point, so eye level is somewhere right around here for us. But stuff like this isn't so bad because he's close to the camera, meaning that you don't have as much to deal with. You start dealing with like the front of the pant legs and stuff. All of a sudden too, you're not drawing a character on a plane, meaning it's to me it's easier to have someone standing on the ground like this than if you have them standing where their feet in theory would, you know what I mean? Like that just is never going to look cool. If you can put them on a plane where they're turned a little bit, it's just a little more dynamic. But then you've got foreshortening going on, you know what I mean? You've got a foot back and a foot forward. This is nice. Damn, this guy's getting jacked up. And this is really, really detailed. It may not seem like it, but man, that's some finessey stuff. And people love speed lines. Oh man, it's so beautiful. I know it's not totally drawn, but man, that looks cool. And if you notice, I mean, he did actually, it is at a little bit of an angle. That's not straight across, so it's got a fun little tilt to it, which does actually create a little bit of sort of movement and tension. It feels like we're in a helicopter or a drone kind of flying in on the scene, almost like we're coming in this way and then heading into the shot like that a little bit. Very, very cool. You could even argue you came around that way and you're heading that way, Could do like little jet trail. Good times, right, friends? Okay, we're gonna wrap this up on Handsome Men, or let's see if we can find her again. All right, you have a great day. Check this book out. This is called Sunken Rock, right? I think I'm remembering it right. Like I said, I just got exposed to this today. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, it's very, very cool. Are we almost at the end? I think we're at the end. Let's just look at these last few. I think we're right at the end. Doesn't look like many are open. Booty. Keanu. And a fancy yacht. Cool sky, too. Oh, this is nice. Very, very cool. Whoa. Earth. Pretty lady. handsome man with crazy hair in black suit. Oh, that's cool. So, Young King Comics, this is Boichi and Sunken Rock. All right, you all have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't. Please hit the like if you, especially if you made it to the end of the video. And have a great day. And I'll be back soon with a hot take. I've been kind of eyeballing some books for a hot take, so we'll do something cool. But yeah, this was fun. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.